Well, I'll start talking and then we will move to some of the movement-based stuff. If you can hear all the birds, I'm not sorry because it's a very nice sound. What I would like is I would love for people, if you're open to it, to keep your videos on just as a form of connection during this. We're going to be talking about being barefoot and a little bit less from the medical perspective, more about the benefits of being barefoot and what it can do for both your body and also, I won't say soul, but not that much into things like that, but it is really, really good for mental health. So I do like the connection aspect to this. So if you're open to it, I would love to be able to see everybody as we go through this. It could also help if you have a question as we go through any of this. It's nothing during this is going to be very complex, but there are some things that might be a little bit frustrating. So if you have any difficulty with it, you can wave your hand and I can take a look at what you're doing and see if I can help. So this week I am, like I said, talking about being barefoot. And today all I want to do is connect you to your bare feet. I'm not going to go in depth into any anatomy. I'm going to go through some of the motions of the foot, but mostly just to help you understand as I keep talking through the presentation throughout the week. So what I want everyone to do is you're going to stand up. If you are able to be outside, that is the absolute best. Being on natural surfaces, grass, soil, sand, in your bare feet, it connects you to the electrons in the earth. It's called earthing, and it has incredible benefits, especially during this time when, you know, we're existing all up here because we can't go many other places. It's really, really good to reconnect with the earth, to feel the effects of all of the electrons coming through your body, and it has some physiological changes. So if you're able to be outside, that would be absolutely awesome. But if you're not, I would like you to be near a window so that as we do this, you're able to see out into the horizon, because we're going to connect you to your feet, but then also connect you out to the horizon. So let's get started. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to face yourself and orient yourself to the window. I can kind of be off to the side. You don't really need to see me during this. What I'm going to have you do is just bring your awareness down towards your feet, okay? No judgments during this. Don't worry if anything is right or wrong. You're just bringing the awareness to that area. Again, if you're outside, what I want you to do, and you can do this inside too, but it really has a bigger impact if you're outside. So if you can't be outside, I would challenge you, especially because today is going to be beautiful, I would challenge you to go outside and redo some of this, and just to compare the difference between inside and outside. So what I want you to do, you're going to just notice your feet and feel the surface below you. And I want you to notice what happens to your thoughts when you do this. I want you to notice if, you know, if coming into this you had 1,000 thoughts kind of blowing around in your head, notice them kind of narrow down and focus into what you're feeling through your feet. There are 7,000 sensory receptors in each foot. So you're getting 7,000 pieces of information during this exercise. So that should not leave too much room for additional thoughts. This is one of those times when doing this can really, really help with some of that stress and anxiety that you might be feeling during this time or at any point in life, okay? So we're going to settle here for a little bit, and I want you to, again, just take in the different sensations at the bottom of your foot. I want you to notice where your weight is between the 2 feet. Is it more on the right side, more on the left? Is it more on the inside of your foot? Outside, front to back. Again, no judgments, just notice. Then I want you to start to slow your breathing. So we're going to go through 4 rounds of breathing. You're gonna go in through your nose for a count of 4 and out through pursed lips for a count of 7, okay? So we're gonna go in, 1, and then out. Back in. And out. Back in, and I want you to start to notice some of the tensions in your body start to relax and melt away. And out. Last one, breath in. And out. And I want you now, by your window, I want you to look out. Keep this breathing rate and just look at the horizon. Okay, take in the depth of information that you have in front of you. Try to identify the thing that's the farthest away that you can possibly see. Broaden your visual field to take in as much on the sides as you can. Again, this type of viewing is associated with relaxation, whereas the opposite, being narrowed in and focused, that's going to be a little bit more of that anxiety and stress. So 2 more breaths looking out to your horizon. Again, go back to those feet. Get a sense of the surface underneath of you. I'm on grass right now, and I can tell that I'm flattening out right where I am underneath my feet. It's cold, but I'm not getting cold from it. My feet are adapting to the temperature. And my shoulders are relaxing down and back finally, after being up by my ears for the last 24 hours. Okay, bring your attention back into the room. How's everybody feeling from that? Good? Okay, so now we're gonna go into some of the foot motions and kind of just familiarizing yourself with your feet and connecting yourself to your toes. So I'm gonna be bringing my camera down a little bit and angling it down so you can see my feet. Okay? So the first thing, I'm not gonna be able to have my face in the view, so I can still see you, so if you need my help or anything, just wave a hand, okay? So we're gonna go over proper positioning to get us to the point where when we move our toes, they're in the best place to be moved. So the first concept is pronation and supination of the foot. So pronation is when we drop in. Supination is lifting up. Both of these are needed for everyday life. So neither are bad. It's except for when we live to get into both, okay? So we're gonna go through a little bit of pronation, supination. If you have a TheraBand, like this, it can help give you some feedback. So what you would do is the band is gonna pull you into pronation, and you are gonna push it back out into supination. If you don't have a band, that's totally fine. So I want you to get your weight, and I want you to notice we should be having a tripod weight-bearing position in our foot where it's in the middle of our heel, and then the front 2 parts of our feet. So it's gonna be here and here, and the center of our heel. So I want you to find that tripod right in the middle. We're gonna let our feet go into pronation. And then I want you to push back out into supination. Try to keep your toes flat against the ground, particularly that big toe. Keep this big toe pinned down. Let's go through 5 of these. Pronate in, and back up into supination. Pronate in, back down to supination. The control of pronation is very important within walking. Control that pronation. Back to supination. Last one, pronate and supinate. So from here, I want you to just find the middle ground between those. And what you should feel on that middle ground is a nice activation underneath your feet. That's your arches. We have 3 arches in our feet. That I'll go over on Friday. From here, what this looks like and what you might be familiar with is an exercise called donate, where you're activating the intrinsic muscles of your feet to create that arch. We're achieving it by going through pronation, supination, and falling somewhere in the middle. Okay, now from here I want to talk about toe alignment. We want your big toe facing straight forward. If it's angling in, it's going to be very hard to lift up this big toe. So if you need help, you can take that band, put it between the toes, and then step out. So that's going to allow it to stay in that good alignment. And now the last thing we're going to do, we're going to connect to the big toe. Then we're going to connect to the 4 outside toes. This can be a very, very frustrating exercise because it's a little bit less about strength, more about the brain to foot connection. As we wear shoes, it turns our foot and our brain into one clump. So we're looking to start to dissociate the toes. So if you can't do this, or if you notice that you're doing some weird things with your hand, that's totally normal. We're just starting to build that connection. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start by pressing all the toes flat into the ground. So instead of this, we want this. We're going to keep them all pressed down, and then we're going to lift away the big toe. So it will look like this. I'm going to press, first I'm going to find that mid-range again. I'm going to press those toes down, and then I'm going to lift away the right big toe. Up and down. Starting with my right, and then going to my left. And again, right now, we're just checking the connection. We're not worried about the number of reps. We're just seeing if we can isolate this big toe and if there's a difference side to side. If you've had foot or ankle injuries, it might be more difficult on that side. Or if you tend to wear very narrow shoes, this might also be pretty difficult. So I'm going to give everybody a few more seconds to get a sense of how they feel from side to side. Good. And you can see what Kate's doing to help herself out. She's holding down her outside toes. That can help you be able to start to isolate, but making sure that she's still engaging down in those outside toes so that she's not relying on it. All right, now let's switch to the outside toes. So you're going to press down your big toes and you're going to lift up and away with the outside toes. So we're pressed down and we're lifting up and away. Try to reach them long as you lift up. There's a difference between curling them back and lifting them up and away. See if you can try and get the up and away. Again, you might notice your hands start to do some weird contortionist things. That means that your brain's working. Good. Now, if you want to really challenge yourself, you can try to do both feet at the same time. Same toes, or you can do alternating big toe, little toe. Call us piano toes. Now we're gonna go back for one more round of foot connection, breathing and looking into the horizon. Okay, so everybody back onto your feet, back by your windows. And again, this time I want you to notice if there's any difference between your connection of your feet to the ground from the first time. So again, bring your awareness back down to your feet. Notice if there's a change in weight distribution or your sense of connection to the ground. Keep your knees soft. Let's slow your breathing. 4 breaths in, or 4 count in. And out for 7. Breath in. And out. Taking in that far distance. Breath in. And out. A few more, breath in. And out. Again, bring those thoughts in. Focus on the present. Take in this beautiful morning, breath in. And breath out. And with this one, I want you to fold forward as you are able to. Bring your hands down to your feet. You can bend your knees. And then come back up. All right. I hope that brought everybody's attention to their feet, brought them into the present, and gave you a little bit of, hopefully, some stress relief and some centering of your thoughts. Does anybody have any questions? On Thursday, I'm going to be going over a little bit more specific foot exercises to help strengthen the feet and get you a little bit more prepared to be barefoot. I think everybody has the potential to be barefoot, and I think that the benefits of it completely outweigh the negatives. Some people, there might be a little more effort needed to get yourself there with less discomfort, but discomfort might be part of the process. So embrace it, and we're here to help you work through it. Okay? All right, I'll be back here at 1:30 if you want to go through this again, if it was a nice little break in your day. But hopefully it was a good start to your day. All right.
Great job, Liz.
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.